how do you react to the onslaught of hatred directed to your terrific governor for allowing Florida schools to use PragerU materials? And I'll put it to you more specifically. Were you surprised at the avalanche of hate?
No, not surprised whatsoever. Of course, when you're fighting for the truth, you can never really be surprised that people hate you. I mean, Jesus said, "They hated me first, so of course they'll hate you afterwards." Not that PragerU is, Jesus centered in what they're doing, but the principles are the same. That if you are saying what is actually true, trying to actually do good for the world, help people, people are going to hate you. Because there are people in this world who want to see the world dominated by their power. They want to be the new gods of the world. They want to decide the morality that is subject over America. And if you have things like PragerU, like my new book, like Charlie Kirk and other people like that who are doing good work, and those are allowed to populate and be in people's minds, it's not going to be very beneficial for the elite that I talk about in my book. So of course we're going to get hatred for those things. But I'm incredibly proud of PragerU for getting their materials supplementary in Florida schools. That's a huge step in the right direction.
And now Oklahoma, and they're trying for Texas, as I'm sure you know.
And New Hampshire too.
And New Hampshire, that's right. Yes, good.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't keep track of the states, it's a very good sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Your governor is a man of real courage. He's not a charismatic individual like I care. So I always ask people, do you care if your oncologist is charismatic, or do you care if he or she can cure cancer? He knows there's a cancer in the country.
Well, it's kind of funny because that same argument, I remember you used that same argument with Trump.
That's right.
It was, do you care if Trump is, a mean guy, a jerk, but he can cure your cancer? And it was like the same argument that we used for Trump. Now with Trump, what we're seeing, especially for me personally, when it came to the vaccine stuff and now these latest comments on abortion, it seems like, hey, maybe he is not suitable for fixing that cancer that we talked about. And Ron DeSantis, maybe he doesn't have the most charisma. Maybe he's not the most likable guy, but, what are you going to do? Ulysses S. Grant wasn't the most likable guy, and he helped win battles for the Union and all this. It's the same type of deal. I care much more about the values and getting things done than the overall charisma.
It strikes me as childish to in any way be preoccupied with, is a candidate likable? Isn't the country infinitely more important than the likability of a candidate? By the way, I don't find him not likable at all, but I acknowledge, he doesn't have the same charisma as Donald Trump does, or even some other candidates. But who cares? What he has done, the courage there, and just appointing Joseph Ladapo as the Surgeon General of your state. So tell people about your work in Florida.
Yeah, so I am the editor-in-chief of a newspaper that I started here in Florida called the Florida Standard, where we talk about Florida local news, culture, politics, and then all the stuff that's going on with the election in 2024 as well. A lot of focus is, of course, on Ron DeSantis because I'm in Florida. That's what our newspaper does. But, in terms of what you were just talking about with Ron DeSantis and what matters, we've elevated politicians to a level of celebrity that I don't think we've really ever had since like ancient Rome and some of these emperors that we had. We've given them this power. We've given them this hubris. It's time for us to remember that these are public servants, not celebrities or anything like that. We pay their salaries through our taxes. They're essentially our employees. They should really start to remember that.
That's right. That's what should be remembered. How is the Florida Standard doing?
We're doing very well. It's been quite crazy. I was just able to hire on 2 new journalists, and we've kind of become a place of how would you say it, like not maybe canceled, but people in Florida journalism who'd never really had a place in the Tampa Bay Times or the Orlando Sentinel, Miami Herald. And so they come to us and say, hey, look, I'm a journalist and I love your guys' values, but none of the other ones will take me. Do you have a place for me? And we say, yes, we want the truth out there.